Okay, little demo of the new CUETY, well pretty new CUETY by Visual Productions. This is very unofficial, I have nothing to do with Visual Productions, just thought I would do a quick demo because at the moment, as far as I'm aware, there's nothing online apart from a very quick overview, which is quite confusing because it had split screen between the guy talking and the actual unit. So this, I've been waiting for this system for about 5 years now. Previously I've had this, which is the DMX, no longer in production and not supported either, because they kept freezing up and they had problems, which was great for me because I had quite a few of these anyway, and they were all pre-programmed. This basically, you power it, plug it in, and you've got a set node of chases on each button, which is pretty much the same thing as that. Which is very useful. So I had set colours there, and then the chases ran through to back out, which this one was strobe, that kind of thing. As good as it is, it was very limited. So I'm very pleased that this has come along. Okay, just the system. This is the box, that's the brains, that's what you're paying for. The information stored on here, rather than on either here or here. So if either of the reads go down, it will run on this, which is really useful. The only thing limiting factor is the Wi-Fi system that you're going to use. So make sure you get a good router, which is here. This is a TP-Link router, very standard one. It's very good actually. It costs a bit more than the average smaller, cheaper routers, and it's well worth the money to get a good Wi-Fi router. This is plugged straight into a light. This is just a standard 5-colour Parcan pretty much. It's a wireless sender and receiver as well as a battery light, so it doesn't need any, as you can probably hear the fans are going, it doesn't need any power, but you can use any old light. I use this as master to send to slave all the other arc lighters as well as my bar lights, but you can use a separate box for the wireless transmission, which considering the size of this, it doesn't take up a lot of room in any people's kit. All you need is a little case of some sort. And that's about it really. You can plug it straight in if you don't want the wireless system, such as in a stage performance situation or in a bar, that kind of small bar, that sort of thing. But for me, I'm a mobile DJ and I have to set up very quickly in wedding turnarounds most often than not. So it's nice just to switch it on and off it goes. Only things you need to make sure with these units is that they're linked into the wireless network for obvious reasons, but it's very easy to forget that, which I've done on several occasions already. These systems are really good. I've only used this live once. It's not going to work, is it? I've used this live once and it's been great, although I have a few niggles which I will go through at the end. Otherwise, I mean, I can't really complain. It's awesome. Pretty well priced. I got it for £200 and something, which for the use of it, it's great. And hopefully they'll update it with software, whereas that can't be updated pretty much. It's just a set load of buttons. And that's it. Okay, so first of all we need to go through the main screen, which is here. This is the control screen. So let's say you want light blue. It's on light blue, nice and simple. And then you get yellow. I've done a set load of colours here, and then the chases are on here. I've done it like that because it's much easier to go from page 1, which is where all the colours are. That signifies this here, and then to page 8, which signifies here. As you can see, they link up together. So if you turn one off, it will talk to each other from this box, which is very helpful. So if you've got this running as a system, you want to go out in the audience or whatever for a play or a gig or a nightclub, that type of thing, you can still work it. Which, I mean, I just used the phone actually last Friday and it was great, although it kept locking up a little bit. I don't know why. Every now and then it just freezes and I had to shut it down, start again, which is a bit annoying, whereas I found this was much more stable. So I don't know if there's an upgrade that they can do on this, which would be very useful. And other than that, it's great. The only other problem I found, which was the fact you have to press release every time you want to go on to another effect, or you can press it for a second or more and it will go off, which is pretty annoying because on my old controller I could bang through all the colours straight into strobe, bang, right into one colour, dot, bosh, like that. So for example, if you're on First Dance, which we do for the weddings obviously, and then you want to go from there to start, which is what I use, it will go, but it will still be on this, which is a bit annoying. So having to press, let's assume we're on it, having to press pink, release it, it will go off, so you're in the dark. 2-second delay, now you can do that. And also when you want to go on to a faster blackout, for example, it's not blacking out, is it really? So and then there's a strobe, but it's still running through this one as well, which is a bit annoying. There we go. So what I would like to see on this unit in the future, if possible, is the option to get rid of that release button. So basically, if I press that and then want to go to that, it will turn this off automatically, and then from that to that strobe, bosh, it will turn that off, and so on. It would be nice to have that option. So if anyone from Visual Productions is watching, if that's possible, I'd imagine it'd be quite an easy workaround. Okay, we're going to start off with programming this in, the lighting, and I'll try and guide you through it as best I can. Bear in mind, as I've said, I've only used this once, so I might miss a few things. So yeah, let's start started. Okay, the first thing you need to do is to patch lights in, which is from the main sort of control panel. So press the patch button. On here you can see the 3 lights that I programmed in before, and if you want to patch a new one, so you can remove that, clear. If you want to patch a new one in, basically you have to press personality, and then it will go through all the different makes of different lighting, and then the various types of light that you can get on those makes. If you can't find anything, you're quite easily going to find it probably in the generic section, which would actually be a bit more useful up top as a separate section, because it's not obvious that's where you have to go to. But anyhow, on this it's a 5-colour generic red, green, white, amber. If you can't find it, there is a personality builder which you can get on a laptop. I think there's a separate tutorial for that. I haven't used it, so not sure. So that'll come in. It'll automatically set a address, which is DMX configuration, so it knows which address to go to and what to program it as. Obviously that's a 5-colour, so let's set it as 16, so the last one's 11. You can set your own address if you want it different. Obviously press the address button. That's hundreds, tens, single, so let's say 274. Obviously I don't want it on that, but so let's say that light's there. Okay, so we'll clear it anyway. You can also rename it, and that's about it really. There's not a lot more on that. The other option is the options button, which is where the basically links in with the wireless network. So you can see here it's linked in here through the wireless router, which we've already gone through. Other than that, it's just general firmware updates, IP addresses, that kind of thing, languages. You won't really need to use that much. Another useful thing to look at is this light. When it's on green, that means it's linked in and it's all working fine. If it's red, it's not. It'd be nice if that light was a little bit bigger and perhaps blinking if it wasn't linked in properly. Because a few sessions I've logged on and it hasn't been working, I haven't noticed. So there's enough room to make it bigger. Don't know if they can program that in. So we're now going to go through the main settings on the control panel and how to edit each scene. This is the main control panel. You can see here this line corresponds to page 1 on the remote. That line corresponds to page 8. I've done it like that because it's much easier to go from 1 to 8. So then I can put further scenes in on 2. I'm actually going to program in set colours, lots of different types of colours, on 2, 3, 4 and so on. And then from 7 I'm going to put in a whole white like up lighting as well as effects lights settings from slow to fast, because a lot of people ask me for just white. They don't want sort of naff coloury disco lights, which isn't that naff. They've just seen them at other people's functions, and it's not the same lighting I'd use, but hey ho, still looks cool, just the white. Okay, so these are the dimmers, individual dimmers for each setting. This corresponds to what's being used. You have to use 3 fingers to use that. Not sure why that's. I think that's how what it runs through. This is a speed, I think, so it's a fader. I find these quite difficult to use. Maybe it's because I've got a MacBook Mini. Might be easier on the bigger MacBooks. I haven't really used that, to be honest. I haven't needed to either. It'd be nice for stage setting when you can just pull it in like someone comes on stage, you know, really like that. I can see its use there. Okay, so we've got up here the edit, release, rename, swap and props. So edit obviously is to edit the lighting and to add new scenes. Release is to release it, so if it's on, there we go, release. Rename, quite obviously to rename it. I've named this dark pink for example. Swap, which is quite handy actually. If you've got one you can actually swap it to another area. You just basically press swap, press the one you want and where you want it to go to. It would be nice to have a copy button as well, so you can actually copy it, the same button again, and then edit it. That's not there as far as I can see. Props, that's basically certain types of things like background. I think if you press that, that's what it will go on as background, which is quite useful if you're in a play situation where you've got perhaps lights in the back that need to be on all the time for safety. Obviously it's somewhere where actors need to change, or steps, that kind of thing. That's quite useful. I use loop here, which is very useful, so basically it'll loop around the same thing. So it's very basic, as you can see, which I quite like. I got to grips with it straight away. So next thing we'll go into how to edit and set up a lighting chase. How to set a lighting chase now. Basically you have to press the edit button, the button you want to set it to, which is 9 in this case. What you'll have is a screen here. You've got cues up the top, which is basically the same as a scene on most other DMX devices. You've got the lights here, fixture lights. There's a hell of a lot to select if you really want. I only use 3, so it's quite easy for me. And the effects down here, so that will correspond to the colours on this 5 colour Parcam. Other than that, you've got all the other different things which you get with different lights, such as pan and tilt for moving head. I found this very useful. It's a little colour picker thing. Although it's slightly on the small side. I know this is a MacBook, an iPad mini, but I mean bigger iPads aren't that much bigger, so it'd be nice if you can enlarge it somehow. And then a colour wheel, which I prefer the other one to be quite honest. Other than that, there's an FX unit, or you can do it manually actually, so you can put in the different percentages. The FX unit, I find when you have to have all the colours down for this one. This is quite a nice one, rainbow. You can do speed and that kind of thing, the pace. I've actually found just using this, although I don't like green and red personally for weddings, but using this it will run through all the different colours, which is really helpful. Otherwise you'd have to set tons of different little cues, which we'll do now. So to add a cue, all you have to do is press add. What you have is the number of the cue, so let's have another one, that'll be 2, 1, 2. The 1S stands for 1 second delay. Follow means either follow or halt. To halt it will stop, to follow it will carry on to the next one. So you have to press condition, halt, condition, follow. The delay, press the delay button. Let's say 1 second and then fade, which is the one at the bottom. 0.2. Okay, so then you can see that. So if you then add one it will copy that. So it'll be exactly the same as the last one, which is very handy that. Okay, so we'll add in a nice colour. Let's get rid of this. Let's add in a blue for that one. This took me a bit of time to work out because I'm a bit thick. I kept doing all this, going through it all, pressing back, and nothing was there. I really got frustrated with it. But you have to then press the record button, and if you keep your eye on there, they'll both turn red. That means it's recorded. When you get the next one, make sure you click on that, because if you then press record, it will then go over what you've done on that one. So we'll add something to that. Let's do some effects. Was that not working? Effects, rainbow. Okay, so just do a rainbow effect on that. Okay, record. Do another one. We'll go for a purpley type colour this time. You have to turn that off. There's other effects on there, but they're all pretty similar. Like the sinus comes up and down and the twinkle and stuff like that. Depends on the light that you've got. Okay. Let's go for a purpley colour. That'll do. Record. And then last one, let's go for something a bit different, like that. Record. Oh no, see, that's what I meant earlier. It's so easy to do that. So you have to go all the way back, record, and then Go for a similar colour to what we had before recalled. That's done now. It's very simple. We'll press back, and it will be then set to that, and it'll be running through the different chases that I wanted on loop. So if you press props, it'll be on loop. I don't know what bounce is actually. Who knows? Random. I don't know what that is. Maybe it will run through all the different ones. Don't know. So let's keep it on loop. Right, so that's there now. That's easy as that. It's so simple to do. And then to release it, you release it. To move it, which we didn't do before, swap it, let's put it to 11. It's on 11 now. So this will be page 2. So if we go on 2, there it is, on 11. Very simple. Both on at the same time. So easy. So the only thing I'm missing here is a dimmer on this section. It should actually, let's have a look, technically dim release. Should technically, yeah, dim there, see? So that's a very useful feature, that. It would be nice to see this on the remote as well. The only thing I really miss is a dim button. So for example, if I'm not using this, which I don't intend to, I'm in a very light room and I want it to be a bit darker, it'd be nice to have that option to bring it down. So after first dance, for example, or after the buffet, then everyone comes in the room, it's all busy, great, we can have it straight back up again or at 3/4. Other than that, I think that's about it. The only thing I have found with the remote, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, it froze up quite a few times compared to this, which seems more stable than that. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it's the way I'm using it. I've got an iPhone 5C, so it's not a bad phone, and the firmware's updated, and every now and then I had to do that, come out of it, and put it back on, which is a bit annoying really. Whereas when I went onto this, nothing went wrong at all. So that's worth looking into if that is an issue. Also, it would be quite nice to turn this off, to have more options to put two pages on 2 banks on 1 page, so they're more this sort of size. If that makes any sense. So basically, you can have a lot more buttons on 1 page if possible. That'd be really useful. That's about it, really, I think. So if anyone's got any questions on how to use this or anything else, then please do ask. I'll leave my email address on the comments section below on this video, and well, I'll get on cracking and hopefully put loads of different things in this and make it a bit more complicated and then do a further video. Thank you, bye.